Hello, this is Anthony Nagel, and thank you for joining this IBA Dosimetry webinar. Today we'll be talking with Irina and Sandra, who are our product managers for Patient QA Solutions. Prior to them joining IBA, they both have experience working in clinics as medical physicists, and they've also worked in the medical device industry as well. So what I was hoping to discuss with both of you are the new products being launched by IBA Dosimetry, starting first with the MatriXX Resolution. Sandra, could you please share a bit about this new Patient QA device?
Yes, of course, no problem. So our MatriXX Resolution is a new 2D detector array. It has a resolution of the 6.5 millimeters, and all around the field we have a 1,521 small volume ionization chambers. And with the basic field size which we have, it's 25.3 to 25.3 centimeters. And with advanced software features, we can even cover the field sizes bigger than 40 centimeters. And looking at the clinical usage, we have improved it a lot. So now our new device is completely wireless for the easy setup in the clinical workflow.
And if I understand things correctly, the typical use case involves positioning the array on the treatment couch with the gantry angle correction being provided by a wireless gantry angle sensor.
Yes, Anthony, absolutely. And actually, as we know, the APM TG218 recommendation is definitely to perform the patient-specific QA in the true composite delivery mode. So meaning we have to consider our array exactly as we consider the treatment of our patient, compared to some other techniques where, for instance, the phantom or the array itself would be fixed to the gantry holder and rotating together with the linear gantry, or all the beams of the treatment plan would be collapsed from the gantry position 0 and just shot all together. That's so-called the perpendicular composite delivery in the TG218 wording. And there is also an option of the perpendicular field-by-field delivery. And what as well the APM TG218 group recommends, and it is quite on the obvious side, that if we deliver all the beams all together from the same angle, we have a risk that the small inaccuracies in the MLC position, in the jaw position, they will be just masked by the overlap of the segments and fields on top of each other. And if we will be rotating the device either from the table following synchronously the linear gantry or using the gantry mount, that's what is happening. We are actually not verifying fully the delivery at the beam isocenter, because the positioning of the device on the couch in the isocenter, like the patient's, that's a real setup unaffected by gantry motion and the gravity, which also impacts any array attached to the gantry. So with our new gantry angle sensor plus, which is a wireless gantry angle sensor, we can ensure the high accuracy of the actual gantry position detection and transmit this information to the patient QA software, myQA patients, which is using the gantry readout in the degrees for the actual gantry position in the rapid arc and VMAT plans for the correction of the array angular dependency at the same time, and providing the measurements in all setups exactly like we would treat the realistic patients.
So I hear there's been a lot of automation built into myQA patients in the last few versions of the software. And this is something I want to come back to in just a few minutes, because it's a positive change I've observed from the time I've joined IBA Dosimetry just a few years ago. But before we get into that, I want to make sure we also discuss the accessories that come with the MatriXX Resolution. Sandra, could you please share just a little bit about the Mini Phantom R and the chamber and film inserts?
Yes, Anthony, absolutely. So the new Mini Phantom R is designed specially for the MatriXX Resolution, and it has optional accessory for the CC chambers and for the film measurement. Accessory was designed in a way to completely simplify clinical workflow and to allow point dose measurement and film analysis at the location of the isocenter, which is at the same time matching the effective point of measurement of MatriXX Resolution. So it's like a 3-in-1 solution, providing complete comparison freedom to the clinical user.
On the Mini Phantom R, I noticed that there are some different markings on the face of the Phantom. For sure, there are the central inline and crossline alignment markers, but there's also a marker towards the end of the array. Could you please describe what that marker is used for?
Yes, so this additional marking which we have on the new version of the Mini Phantom is there to be used to allow customers measurements of the larger field sizes. So it's the marking which we call like a merge field marking to allow customers measurements of the fields which are even larger than the active area of the matrix resolution. With the field merging options, which is then used in our software, we can allow customers to measure the long cases even longer than the 40 centimeters.
Okay, excellent. That'll certainly help with some of the larger fields. So we've discussed the matrix resolution hardware and the accessories, but now I want to talk about a real-world scenario. What happens if I'm using the array for patient QA measurements and I don't get an immediate passing result? Is this a problem? And what should I be looking for in terms of how to resolve this situation?
Oh, so I think you ask now the question which Anthony, probably every medical physicist would like to know the answer, and I will try to do my best to give it. On one side, if it is not passing, I would say that there is a probability that there is indeed an error, because matrix resolution, due to its high number of detectors, high number of chambers, it has actually an extremely high sensitivity even to the small errors such as the 1 degree of the collimator rotation or the displacement of the matrix position, but that one you would probably detect easily if you do the automatic alignment of the measured and calculated fields in the myQA patients. And on the other side, it's very sensitive to the output errors due to 9 central chambers used for the absolute dose calibration. So I would say yes, your QA is not passing. It is probable that it has an issue. But the issue could be not just on the side of the measurement itself or machine, which we can detect with measurement. There could be as well a simple human error in the preparation of your QA plan. And to save time and not to remeasure, that's what would be the first step which I would advise you to look at. Double check first your QA plan, double check your matrix setup in the bunker, and then review again and repeat the measurement result. And if it's still not passing, just take one of your older plans, the one which you passed previously, and repeat it on the same day. That would allow you to figure out if the problem is appearing just today and right now and with that particular plan, or it is something else which might be unnoticed. Does it give you a hint what to do now? Even as not medical physicist, as you say?
Yes. Yes, it does. Thank you. Yeah, I think that at least gives me a starting point. Now I'd like to change gears and talk a little bit about the myQA SRS. Sandra, could you please introduce us to this exciting new device?
Yes, absolutely. So the myQA SRS is the new SRS SBRT specific measurement device available on the market. I would say that it really has the cutting edge technology and the specifications because it has 105,000 measurement points placed in the active detector area of the 12 by 14 centimeters, which when it's all recalculated give us the fascinating resolution of the 0.4 millimeters.
So I'm not a medical physicist, I'm an engineer. Just looking at the numbers, we have a measurement device with a native 0.4 millimeter resolution being used to measure and compare against the reference, which is at 1 millimeter resolution, coming from the treatment planning system. What does that do for you as a medical physicist when you have a measurement which is actually at a higher resolution than your comparison?
Oh, that is very nice point to discuss because currently until now the cases where the very high resolution was needed was mostly measured by the film. And having the digital detector with a resolution which is comparable to the film is something what is really nicely used in the clinical workflow. And every medical physicist knows how painful it could be to use the films for the QA of the patient plans. Now with a digital detector like the myQA SRS, we can provide the same resolution, but at the same time, we can save the really valuable time of the medical physicist, which can then be used for some other more important medical physicist tasks for the complete radiotherapy workflow.
So because the measurement array has such a high resolution, it minimizes false positives and allows any unusual or suspicious results to be quickly investigated. That's really great. The technology behind this impressive performance is a new CMOS detector array. Sandra, could you please discuss why IBA Dosimetry decided to implement this new technology in the myQA SRS?
Yeah, so you said it right. The CMOS technology is definitely new technology in the field of radiation therapy and the patient QA. So we were in IBA a long time thinking about the technology which can fully fit to the advanced market needs for the SRS and SBR treatments. And that is how we decided of us for the CMOS as the perfect solution for the stereotactic patient QA. We think that it's perfect solution because CMOS offers the very high pixel density. It has an extremely fast data readout. It has a very compact detector design, and it offers the maximum flexibility for the non-complanar applications, which are in case of the SRS treatments pretty often.
So the myQA SRS, it's an array with actually a really impressive resolution. And at the same time, the overall array size is also reasonably large. Isn't that right, Irina?
Yeah, so with a 12 by 14 centimeters measurement area, as Sandra also mentioned, we actually got a lot of flexibility in what type of the stereotactic treatments, both SBRT and SRS, we can verify. Obviously, in SBRT, you even can fit the whole prostate with urethra-sparing case on the array. And in case of the SRS, the multiple brain metastasis with a single isocenter is the best example, because there is a lot of fascinating cases as well where you can actually verify all 3, 4, or 5 metastasis treatments just with one measurement on myQA SRS. And if needed, you can actually rotate the whole detector by 90 degrees to get the whole dose distribution in that sagittal cut of the brain. And that's what always looking so amazing instead of doing the multiple measurements or trying to cut a film in the way that the whole treatment area would fit. I really love it.
So when I look at these two devices, the MatriXX Resolution and the myQA SRS, I see a common theme between both of them, and that's accuracy and efficiency. And those two factors, accuracy and efficiency, those aren't things that are driven only on the hardware side. Recent versions of myQA patients have actually received a number of great new features pertaining to automation, mostly. And Irina, I was wondering if you could please discuss some of those new features.
Yes, I mean, it has been really quite a lot, Anthony. I hope I will not forget anything, otherwise Sandra will help. I would start probably backwards. We were talking about myQA SRS. So the first new amazing feature coming in specifically with the myQA SRS is the automated integration measurement mode, where we are saving the user a couple of different mouse clicks which are connected with creating of the overall measurement integral and looking at the separate frames and folders by just giving immediately after measurement finished one complete measured dose plane ready for analysis and for comparison. The next part, we discussed it a bit before, that's automated field by field measurement mode, where really by simple click you import all those planes of all multiple fields. You go into the automated field by field mode. You start the measurement, you see your angles measured from gantry angle sensor or even without from the IMRT plan file. And they're already automatically named by the software according to the gantry angle. And that speeds up incredibly the analysis and comparison with the treatment planning system data. But that is as well not the only new functionality. So combined fields, I guess we discussed. What I like specifically is automated isocenter location feature and auto alignment. With automated location of the isocenter, it removes all the headache of locating the real dose plane for comparison out of the 3D DICOM dose cube. Because you just need to do again one mouse click, and myQA patients immediately picks up the one and correct one where your plan isocenter is located and where your lasers are basically intersect on the phantom and the matrix on myQA SRS measurement point. And then, as we are all humans, we could do a little of the setup errors. I mean, with our eyes and the laser uncertainty, plus minus 1.5 millimeter left, right, that should not affect your QA results. So without a correction of the setup of the phantom, you could exclude this small setup error and focus really on what matters, the accuracy of the delivery. So I think that's it for the last release for sure.
Thanks, Irina. If I could just quickly mention my favorite feature, it's the combined fields feature. And I know that's something that we talked about in the context of the MatriXX Resolution, but that's also something that can be used with the myQA SRS, correct?
Yes, that is compatible as well if you would like to use it for myQA SRS. Here I would probably think if there are maybe 2 SRS lung tumors and so on, which you might be verifying again in one setup. But on the other side, in the SRS, typically in this case, the 2 isocenter plans are created, so there might be still 2 measurements. But in principle, yes, you can use it.
So at this point, I'd like to take a step back and look at the bigger picture of IBA Dosimetry as a patient QA company. In some of the recent conversations I've had, people are very favorable on the devices themselves, and they're very positive on the specifications, and they believe in what we're doing. But what they've expressed is that they don't really know IBA Dosimetry as a patient QA company. And Sandra, I was just wondering if you could please comment on what you would share with somebody expressing those concerns.
Yeah, I think the statements which you have heard, that is something what has changed in the last time. So maybe people do not know still, but we were one of the pioneers on the market with automated Monte Carlo-based software patient QA solutions. And we are now providing the highest resolution 2D arrays for the patient QA, for the 3D IMRT VMAT and SRS treatments, combined with the automated myQA software. So in this way, I think we can clearly say that next to the water phantoms, IBA provides state-of-the-art patient QA solutions, and that the old rumors about IBA being water phantom or commissioning companies are absolutely not relevant anymore.
I couldn't agree more. Irina, could you please also share your thoughts on this?
So in the area of the patient QA, we had to provide to our customers the devices which are absolutely comparable in terms of the hardware and software to such great solutions of the IBA Dosimetry like SmartScan or myQA Daily, and give them something on one side impressive, so with MatriXX Resolution and myQA SRS, powerful software such as a Monte Carlo based patient QA, and something just really what is fun to work with. And for me, it's actually myQA patient, maybe a bit old fashioned, but given so many versatile tools for the patient QA, and actually the stimulating the research mind of the medical physicist to find out the reason why you might be having a not passing or actually so good, well passing patient QA results. I think in the area of the patient QA, as Sandra said, now IBA is a strong player on the market, the same like we are in the field of the absolute and relative dosimetry area.
Alrighty, thank you, Irina. I think we're going to leave it there for today. Irina and Sandra, I'd like to thank you both for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.